PaladinOne, sometimes seen as PaladinAH1. I am a staff editor for the Feed the Beast official wiki. That means it is my duty to sometimes try in vain, to explain what the heck all these random modders have done with their stuff, so that you can actually use it.
That's a very noble aim!
Yay.
Hi.
Hi.
Use that invisibility potion, Sky, if you want to go.
I am very glad to be not alone, because this is the sort of thing that takes an enormous number of people to do it. Right now, I think we have, half a dozen, maybe more active staff members. The staff of the FTB Wiki has changed a lot over the years. Satanic Santa is the guy in charge, technically. He's also lead of translation. Retep998 is the other admin, although, I've got a little bit of a beef with him because he's kind of lazy. As for regular editors, Chocohead does alternating things, sometimes template building. Xbony2 is actually our currently most active person. He is attempting to single-handedly document all of immersive engineering, and he's doing a pretty decent job with it so far. Cblair91 is our resident X-Curse employee who now does JavaScript for us. Kithria helped us build the Lua modules we use for running info boxes, nav boxes, and displaying icons of every little item in-game on the wiki. Excuse me. Wolfman does basically the same thing as Chocohead, and I do basically the same thing as Chocohead, Wolfman, and Xbony, but I'm a little bit more unpredictable when I'm going to do my work. And then when I do my work, it winds up being like I spend an entire day doing nothing but it, which is why Thermal Dynamics got documented a few weeks ago. For translation, Luminous Lizard does translations to German, Nick the Red does translations to Russian, and Santa does translations to Spanish. And that is currently the active wiki team. Any of us can be reached via the FTB Wiki IRC channel, which we tend to be sitting in all the time, although not everyone's awake all the time, obviously. However, I did once call us out as having, quote, incredibly weird sleeping patterns, so there's always going to be someone there, somehow. So, open the floor to questions. Who wants to say something to me that I can answer?
Yes, what's your relationship to FTB as the company?
I personally have no relationship with them. The wiki itself is technically the official one run by them, and it is the listed official source of information on FTB mods and mod packs. However, I was picked up for the wiki either a year ago or 6 months ago, depending on interpretation. And I was not picked up by Feed the Beast itself, though. I was picked up by the wiki. Question, what is FTB? FTB is Feed the Beast. Feed the Beast is a mod pack distribution organization. They develop, well, not really develop, they put together, test, release, distribute mod packs. They have their own launcher, although by now they've also been shifting over to the Curse launcher because FTB is technically owned by Curse, as is pretty much the entire Minecraft community. How hard is it for you to add a new information page about a mod? About the mod itself, if we're going to start documenting a mod, there's a bit of a process to it. Make a little page introducing people to the mod, build the nav box, which is the most complicated initial thing, because for building the nav box, you have to get a list of every single block and item in the mod, and put it all in one place with all the nav box formatting, which can get a little bit annoying. And then invariably, once you've built the nav box, you have to rebuild it later, because every first edition nav box lists every single block and item, and sometimes we can double up pages. Like, you can put information on multiple different items on one page. Question, what if someone wants to help out with translations? I'm a German and already do translations. The FTB Wiki, like, even though we're the official wiki, we are open to contributions from anyone, so long as you're not a moron. Although that's personally just me, because I don't like morons very much. If you want to help with translations, then contact one of our translation administrators, which would, at this point, primarily be Retep, although Nick the Red could give you some information, Xbony could give you some information. Oh, I should probably actually say the wiki URL itself. That is and that is where we are on the wiki right now. A year ago, we were actually on wiki.feedthebeast.com. However, due to server stability issues, we transferred to Gamepedia 7 months ago, which is when I joined the team, because I couldn't actually work with it earlier. Where do you get most of your information from? I gather my information from a combination of playing the game, like, open the game, either in an actual world, just picking stuff up as I go, or open a game in creative mode, like within the instance just containing the mods I was going to test, and test blocks and items in them, see what they do, see how they work, what the numbers are, and then my second source of information is digging through the source code, which I don't program Java. I know just enough Java to be able to read it, mostly, and that does come in very useful for trying to figure out the little numbers on things. So, where I get information from, it's a combination of actual playtime and source code reading. And as far as what I use for source code reading, because I'm lazy, I generally use JDGUI. Does FTB Wiki has a hard time? It seems to be outdated for the most part, just asking. All wikis will almost invariably be outdated some of the time on some things. There's an enormous amount of content we're trying to cover, and not an enormous number of people trying to cover it with. The only way in computer science in general to have a piece of software entirely documented is to have the guy who's doing the programming do all the documentation themselves, but a lot of people don't want to do that because it takes away time from them actually, well, programming. How long does it take on average to document a mod? It usually takes for a single mod, it's hard to say how much time it takes to do a single mod because different mods add vastly different amounts of content. However, for a single block or item from the mod, that usually, like, if someone really puts their mind to it, that can usually be done in about 10 minutes if it's simple, half an hour if it's more complicated. Particularly because, like, there's a very solid format to pages, and a lot of pages can just be copy-pasted over from old pages. Like, if I'm going to make a new page, I don't just straight up say create new page. I open a new page, and I open an old page that's somewhat similar, Control A, Control C, Control V, then start deleting things and replacing them. Because, like, there's enough, this is the thing about wikis. We want to have a unified style, a unified format across all of them. And that means it's very easy to create new pages and have them all look the same, but with the correct information there for them. So, on average for a mod, can't say. On average for a single block or item, 10 minutes to half an hour. Add in another half an hour or an hour for building the nav box, and then add in another week for RedTap to finally get around to updating the tile sheet. Okay, that's probably not fair, particularly because Exponent can update tile sheets now. Question, what differentiates mods from minor mods? Minor mods tend to be things that add just one or two little add a few small mechanics or a few things that are just a simple utility. Not very many things. It's primarily just a difference of scale. But minor mods, the sort of things that you wouldn't build them as the core component of a pack, but you'd have them as being like a little bit of extra utility. Fastcraft would be a minor mod because it doesn't add really much to the game. Actually, no, Fastcraft wouldn't be a minor mod. Fastcraft is a performance enhancing mod, and those have their own special category. What would be a minor mod? Like, okay, well, tapping over to the wiki for a second to try to look at the mod list and see if I can find a list of minor mods. Microblocks. Okay. Microblocks would be a minor mod because if that's being qualified as a minor mod, then I think it is. Oh wait, it's on the main page, isn't it? Mods, minor mods, yes. Yeah, minor mods, a lot of minor mods are add-ons to major mods that simply extend features of the mods, like the endless series of NEI add-ons would would be considered minor mods because they're all just extensions to NEI. They all require NEI to work, and they all simply slightly extend the features of NEI. Other things that get qualified as minor mods tend to be core mods because they don't really add much many gameplay features. They're more so just requirements for other things. Scroll. Question: What would you use? What would you use except JDGUI? Well, after the debate this morning about different Java IDEs, for NT compilers, JDGUI is the only one I use and the only one I have because it's really lightweight and it'll run anywhere. Like, I can pop it on a flash drive, and if I need to do something on the fly, I can do it there. Actually, it's not that I need to do something on the fly; it's that I want to do something on the fly. But after the debate this morning, I added I add IDEA as well, so I can work with that later. Question: I know that you're the wiki guy. What's your opinion on FTB first party and third party? FTB first party mod packs versus third party mod packs, you mean? Well, what do you mean by my opinion on them? Like, should that be a thing? Should they be differentiated? You mean like my opinion of the packs themselves? So for a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I was opposed to mod packs in general, just because I like the flexibility of doing things on my own, and I didn't like to be tied down to a pack for version updates. And by now, that was also because I played a lot of single player. I still play a lot of single player, a lot more than multiplayer, but by now I've come to accept the utility of pre-built mod packs for multiplayer usage. As far as the official FTB mod packs go, I don't use them very much because they tend to be in the realm of what you use for a server. And actually, at this point, the only official mod pack I'm actually using is Infinity, because I've got a few friends that host an Infinity server that I play with. As far as third-party packs go, I actually have generally liked the third-party packs, especially the story-driven packs, because they give an extra, well, not an extra, they give a different approach to playing the game. Like, I had a whole lot of fun with the Material Energy series. Crash Landing, I would like to love it, but, except for the fact that it's constantly trying to murder you. Ags Guys, I put a fair amount of time into. Ags Guys 2, I haven't gotten to yet. Running Red, love the concept, and I find it amusing that, Gideon decided to name everything after, at least in Running Red 2, I find it amusing that Gideon decided to name everything after My Chemical Romance songs. Hubris, I've started playing with a little bit, except that there's always the annoyance of Blood Moons. Yes, I was first introduced to the entire world being tainted via the Curse Launcher pack, Atonement Sins of the Past. And I think that's an amusing idea. That could be a little bit masochistic, but yes, it's an amusing idea. And I definitely need to play more with Hubris, particularly because I don't play very much with magic mods at all. I'm much more of a tech person, but I'd like to play some magic. So, actually, yeah, I'm probably going to do a fair amount of Hubris in the next week if I have time. Pathfinder? Okay. I love the concept of Pathfinder. I love how many things have gone into it, but for some reason it crashes every time I try to make it run, and that's really annoying. Blast Off, similar thoughts to Crash Landing, but in reverse. I'm basically just going through third-party packs now. Really cool concept. Haven't actually gotten very far in it. Actually, I haven't gotten very far in most packs. I need to actually, like, do a dedicated run-through of pack one day. So that's my thoughts on. That was a very long answer to that one. I'm going to go back to actual questions now. I can get back to that later if you want. Question: how do you generate block images for the wiki? How much time does that take you? That is the tile sheet extension. that was a system that was actually originally written by Jinbobo about a year ago, and it has been enhanced several times since then. The idea of the tile sheet system is similar to how Minecraft does it itself. What we do is, this was made so much easier by a feature added to NEI like 8 months ago. NEI actually allows you to dump images of every single item in the item panel that it generates, and you can sort that by mod. So you can generate a list of you can generate a folder containing images of every single block and item added by a mod. And so what we do is then we have a bot that was built by RedTep and is currently being alternatively run by RedTep and Xpony. And what that bot does is it takes the entire folder of icons of items and stitches them together into a single giant tile sheet image, uploads it to the wiki, and then uploads to the wiki tile sheet registry names of every single block and item from the mod, tied to the mod, and referencing the location on the tile sheet where the icon appears. Once the tile sheet has been built, we can then reference it via one of a series of templates, all based around, originally around template grid, now module grid, and call up module grid, mod name, item name, and it produces an icon, an image of the it produces an image of the item and a tooltip for the item's name and a link to the page for the item. And we use that in crafting tables all the time. 200 hours well spent. It's a very complicated system. It was horribly broken a while ago. It's now significantly less broken. Particularly after we did the translation from template G to module G. Translating from template G to module G. Fortunately, we were able to do it in such a way that nothing changed on any of the pages, except that every page loaded faster. And that was the work of, Major. Scrolling over to questions again. Question, what happened to Jinbobo? Haven't you seen him around? Jinbobo, we have actually seen him around a little bit recently, however, he hasn't done anything for the wiki. He's just sort of said hi a little bit and trolled Chocohead a bit. I know he's alive, but he hasn't really been doing wiki things. Question, how about Hard C? I joined the team after Hard C departed, so I don't actually know who that is. Question, so you mostly play single player still? Yes, I still play mostly single player. There's, like, one multiplayer server I'm currently on. But no, I've always done much more single player than multiplayer, just because, actually I'm not entirely sure why I never did much multiplayer. Like, I've always had dreams of doing big things with multiplayer servers, but it never really converted. Also with single player, I mean, if I'm playing single player, I can constantly swap around what I have in the pack, which is great for testing things. Question, how does that work with blocks that have models? You mean like, what we've been doing is we've been working off of whatever NEI would show and whatever you'd see in inventory. So if the block has a different model in world than in inventory, we don't currently have a way of dealing with that except for taking a screenshot of the thing in world and uploading it to the page. That doesn't happen all that much though. But like for the Draconic Evolution End Meteor page, I took a screenshot of that and uploaded it. Question, anything else you automatically generate? We don't actually automatically generate very much at all. Most of what we do is hand generated. Although one thing that is automated is that is semi-automated at least, is that the wiki has, much like Forge, the wiki has an internal ore dictionary that we can reference in crafting recipes. So if a crafting recipe in-game uses the ore dictionary instead of using the item names, then we can put that in a wiki crafting grid template to have it automatically cycle through all items that are ore dictionary equivalent to that item based on ore dictionary name. And actually, one of my grand screw-ups on the wiki a few weeks ago was accidentally uploading a whole bunch of wrong things to the Ore Dictionary. I believe that there was the day that accidentally I created several items which had the tag, quintuple bronze bismuth. And with the most egregious one being quintuple tungsten bismuth, with tungsten misspelled even. It was supposed to be quintuple bronze plate, but, oh man, that was a dumb day. I mean, it all worked out in the end, but that's just one of those moments where, I question, do I really know what I'm doing here? Yeah, I know what I'm doing, I just copy-pasted too hard. As far as the Ore Dictionary goes itself, the most annoying thing with the Ore Dictionary was that when it was originally created, a lot of the original things that were put into it didn't have mod names attached to them, which, excuse me, for a few, which at one point in time, several months ago, resulted in all GregTech crafting recipes that used hammers showing Tinker's Construct hammers instead of GregTech hammers. Question, on that note... question, is Watchful One still a wiki bully? Not so much, because Watchful One doesn't show up very much. Question, on that note, additional versioning to wiki history like Git in the background. Well, every page on the wiki, because it's standard media wiki, every page on the wiki has a full edit history of it, that can be cross-referenced via, with newer and older versions for changes. And that's just a standard thing that MediaWiki does, so any single page you can look at. For the Ore Dictionary stuff, it doesn't work for the Ore Dictionary stuff as directly, but every change made to the Ore Dictionary is logged in a separate log file. So we can see what everything that's... Anytime that something in the Ore Dictionary registry changes, we can see that change, and we can see all past changes. It's not separated by individual entries, it's just separated by the category. Question, do you see your position as a business or as a hobby or something else? For everyone on the wiki, it's pretty much a hobby. Mostly because if I had a nickel for every time someone asked if I got paid for doing this. But no, it's mostly a hobby because it's just something that we took up the banner of doing in the name of spreading correct information. Like, I got picked up by the FTB wiki a year ago because I've been a big-time GregTech guy for the entire time I've been playing Minecraft, which was since, I bought Minecraft right at the release of right after the release of 1.4, so I'm fairly new to the scene by that standard. And I played vanilla Minecraft for an hour and a half and then downloaded a mod pack and started playing with GregTech. And so my perspective of mods in general has been slightly twisted by having spent so much time with GregTech. However, I got brought onto the FTB wiki after I wrote almost the entirety of the GregTech 4 community wiki. And then the GregTech 4 community wiki collapsed because Wikia changed their policies on who could have wikis with them. So with the Wikia collapse, actually no, not Wikia, Wikispaces. After Wikispaces collapsed, we were trying to figure out what to do about documenting GregTech 5, so RedTap998 came to us and said that he was the official GregTech guy on the official FTB wiki, and considered having us come on board. Like, he persuaded us to transfer to FTB for documenting GregTech 5, and so I started working. I didn't stay working on it for very long because of server stability issues. Bloodasp kept working on it. Bloodasp made most of the pages for the GregTech 5 blocks. Then, 3 months ago, when the Gamepedia transition came in, I came in and wrote the vast majority of the GregTech 5 pages that exist right now. Then, got mildly stabbed in the back by Peter, and stopped working on GregTech 5 for a while. If you remember, GregTech 5 never got documented past the electricity tab. Yeah, it didn't really get documented. Like, all of the blocks got documented, which is a thing. But the items were somewhat lackluster. And I felt like at some point I got thrown off because I felt a little bit betrayed by Peter after he changed the GregTech nav box from a template to a module. And there's a bit of a structural issue with the modules in that modules cannot be edited by users that aren't translation administrators. just because of the way the Lua modules were built, and that's really annoying because I'm not a translation administrator, so it meant that I couldn't work on the GregTech nav box anymore, which took a bit of the wind out of me doing things with GregTech. Question: are you happy with the syntax of the wiki? Would you prefer some other format? I've gotten enough used to MediaWiki formatting that I don't see any issues with it. MediaWiki itself can be a little bit weird at times, but most of that weirdness happens under the hood, and it's not something that I, as dominantly a writer, interface with directly. The one thing that I do have to deal with under the hood that's annoying is that I build templates as well. Like, I build crafting grid templates, and that can be a little bit complicated just because of how complicated MediaWiki template descriptions can be. As far as the general formatting, I am fairly happy with the general format of the wiki. The only things I would change would be adding one or two extra parameters to the nav boxes and to the grid tooltips, the item tooltips. Like, I had an idea a few days ago about adding it. You know how Wayla, if you look at a block with Wayla, you see the mod name as well. I was thinking of adding that to the item tooltips, but that would require messing with a module, and I'm not sure if I'm up for that quite yet because I'm not a Lua guy. The templates themselves are JavaScript, and that's much easier. And then for the nav box, I think there's always one or two parameters I'd like to add to the nav box just as a thing, but, wait, I keep saying nav box, I mean to say info box. Like, there's one or two parameters I'd like to add to the info box that I might want to get to at some point, but in general, I'm fairly happy with how the wiki is set up. It just needs more people to write for it. Question: does the wiki get shit from anyone? I mean, is anyone unhappy with what you're doing? Well, usually what we get is the whole wiki is outdated, wiki doesn't have information on X, Y, or Z. But we don't tend to get explicit "you're doing a bad job" thing messages. It's really just what we have on the wiki isn't enough that there's mods that aren't documented. Like, the last one of those I saw was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, where someone was complaining about none of the wikis, like official wiki, unofficial wiki, AT launcher wiki, Tekkit wiki, none of them having anything on thermodynamics, and that was what prompted me to write the thermodynamics section. Yes, the Technic wiki. Yes, Technic does have a wiki. It's had a wiki for a long time, and it actually has some half-decent information on it. If it's, although some of it's a little bit old. Like the Technic wiki is the official repository of big reactors information. Question: do you have issues with vandalizing, blatant or subtle? The Patreon scam thing from yesterday. Okay, so for those of you who weren't here yesterday during AC's modding and drama talk, Zycraft, it was brought up that the wiki page for Zycraft, which apparently I can't Zycraft. Zycraft. The wiki page for Zycraft has a line on it, quote, "It has recently been classified as vaporware. The mod author has not officially discontinued the mod, but at the same time he has not given any releases or ETAs." That we've opted to keep on the wiki because Zycraft hasn't done anything in a very long time. However, the comment that was being referenced here as far as vandalism goes, if it's... Okay, I'm going to copy-paste it into chat. Never mind, I'll just read it, because it's slightly too long for a chat message. Quote, "Removed Patreon link as the mod has been classified as vaporware and no information on the status of the mod development is open to the public. Financial support of the mod at this point is comparable to a money scam." That update was reverted 15 minutes later under the change, "Are you effing serious?" As far as vandalism goes, 6 months ago we had a module on the wiki, a MediaWiki module called Flagged Revisions, which made it so that unless you were logged into the wiki, you would not see the most recent versions of any pages, so that if a random user came in and vandalized a page, people wouldn't see it immediately, and the edit could easily be undone. You simply do not confirm that edit. However, Flagged Revisions was causing problems with the module pages, which meant that for a short period of time, every single page had a giant script error instead of an info box, and a giant script error instead of a crafting grid. So we removed flag revisions on the justification that because we all have, quote, incredibly weird sleeping patterns, unquote, we would be able to monitor pages and make sure that any vandalism that got put on pages wouldn't stay there. As far as vandalism go, it's not really a is sound not working or is nobody speaking? You guys can't. No, I'm talking.
Sound is working.
It's just that we're waiting for you to speak. we're just listening to you. You're very good at talking. And I'm just gonna like stop and start the recording so my computer doesn't blue screen of death like it did last time.
Fun.
Learn to talk to me on it.
And if I go over 30 minutes, it completely breaks, which it did just now, so you won't get any high quality audio. Actually, no, someone else did it. Someone else is recording. Thank you, someone else who is recording.
Yeah, I have the mix down.
Or Haddon 69 is. I might want to steal your audio.
Well, from this point on, I just started recording myself too, so whatever. I paused for a second.
Start a new recording.
Well, I paused for a second because someone said, "Sorry, quote, sorry, is my sound not working or is nobody speaking?" Unquote. Where was I saying? Oh yeah, vandalism. So, vandalism is not really an issue. We do get like once every few days an IP address user comes in and like writes the word penis on a page or something like that, but that's about all we have to deal with these days. Occasionally we have the annoyance of someone not putting thorough info on a page, like they create a page and the page has one sentence, which usually the response to that is Xpony goes over to that page, puts stub uncategorized needs info box and one or two other things on the page, actually adds a nav box and a category to it, and calls it a day, and then someone else fixes it later. But vandalism is definitely not a problem on the wiki. And I know that it was a problem on the old Technic wiki. Like, the Technic wiki had a major problem with people creating bot accounts and vandalizing pages. So I'm very glad that we don't have to deal with that. And that is the last question that has been listed so far.
What is 1 + 1?
What number base are we working in?
Because JavaScript is not 2.
Thoughts on trains? I like trains. Okay.
What?
Oh, crap. Because I opened another Minecraft on the side, I actually can't reconnect to the server immediately. I probably should have thought that went through better.
What
Okay.
happened?
Good job.
Nice.
I started.
Nice.
What
Good
happened
job.
was, I exited temporarily to avoid being run over by a train that would be summoned by me saying I like trains, and then forgot that I had started a second instance of Minecraft in the background, so I'd been logged out of this one. So now I need to restart.
Oh god.
Oh no.
I'm son!
I think ahead once. I don't always think ahead twice. Okay, so if anyone wants to ask me another question, please ask it via Mumble because I'm still relaunching.
What is
IC2 Classic or IC2 Experimental? Okay, so I'm going to have to say IC2 Experimental with the qualifier only because GregTech. Because I cannot entirely agree with all the directions that IC2 Experimental is going in, although a lot of that is just because IC2 itself has bad documentation. Shooting myself in the foot here. But the changes that IC2 Experimental made in its ore processing chains caused GregTech to increase the length of its ore processing chains and more so than increase the length of them, make it so that under the current GregTech ore processing chain system, you can theoretically get 4 or 5 different materials out of a single block of ore. Which is pretty cool, given, and at times a little bit excessive, given how many materials there are in GregTech. As for IC2 Classic, I liked IC2 Classic, but its development had stagnated. That there was nothing that changed in IC2 Classic between when I started playing Minecraft and when IC2 Experimental was released. Like, I mean, nothing changed. The only thing that, like, they added rubber boats. And I do not like the fact that nothing changed, because other mods were undergoing changes, other mods were being updated. There's something to be said for stability, but I feel there's more to be said for progress. And IC2 Classic was not making progress because Alblocka vanished. And unfortunately, still nobody has heard from Alblocka in almost 3 years now.
Actually, not quite. Alblocka pops up on the IC2 chat box about once every half a year to say hi, and then disappears again.
Nobody has heard anything from Alblocka in terms of modding for about 3 years now.
Yes, that's true.
Which is sad, because, like, he had some good things. And unfortunately, without him, I don't know what Player and Thunderdark are doing with the IC2 Energy Net. Which is probably why the IC2 Energy Net has been broken for, 2 years now? God, that sounds pathetic. Like,
yeah,
IC2 Experimental was first released 2 years ago, and it broke the Energy Net in the process. And they still haven't fixed it. Like, you know it's pretty bad when one of your add-on makers makes a core feature of his add-on, rewrote the Energy Net. Because GregTech rewrote the IC2 Energy Net to make it work more like it used to, and that was actually good, because it means that the IC2 Energy Net under GregTech, well, the GregTech Energy Net actually makes sense. I've said GregTech a fair amount, haven't I?
Yes.
Wine or cheese? Cheese, because I hate alcohol. Like, the stuff tastes terrible.
What?
And cheese can actually have some interesting flavors to it.
Cheese? Flavor?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Do you know how many different varieties of cheese there are?
Too many.
no.
And do you know how many different varieties of Protoss cheese there are?
No.
Too
Good.
many.
You're not supposed to know.
Nice.
Question, are you a cow? No, I'm an anti-cow. Tips for writing documentation, things to look out for.
Markdown.
Being too obvious. Being too simple. Like, using vague language. This is something that bugs me in documentation, is seeing things that were, vague, non-specific. Like, this mod increases, like, this tool mines much more quickly than this other tool. No, like, give me, this tool mines at speed 7, this tool mines at speed 11. The second tool is faster than the first tool by a speed factor of 4. I like precise numbers. I don't like vague statements, and that's probably the biggest thing that I would say in writing documentation. Apart from that, the biggest thing is learning how the templates work, or at least learning how to call them correctly. Because wikis use templates left, right, center, upside down, and backwards, and it's good to know, if not how the template works, at least how you'd use the template, what you use it for, and what not to do to make sure it doesn't break down. And in case something does break down, know who your resident JavaScript person is. Question, is vanilla a game or a mod software development kit? Vanilla is a game, but it's not a particularly interesting game. And I can't necessarily call it a mod software development kit because Mojang never released a modding API, which is why the Forge guys had to do it for them. And soon the Nova guys will have to do it for the Forge guys.
10-10.
Yep. 10.
11 of 10.
No. 42 out of 10.
Question, do you like skateboards? No. Question, how do I become a moon bear? Well, I'm not sure how you'd become a moon bear, but I think the bigger problem is how would you get there?
Well,
As
as we learned from Portal, there are ways.
yes, there are very much ways. Some of them more reliable than others.
Yes, like shooting a portal to the moon.
Unfortunately, under Minecraft rules, that
Pistons
kills you.
and TNT.
Bit of a shame that kills you, though.
You need creative mode.
Or really
favorite-
good armor. Or really good armor.
Actually, I think that portal guns code for it just kills you when you go through a portal to the moon. I haven't checked that though.
It teleports you up like 500 blocks.
Yeah, it teleports you up several hundred blocks, but it also kills you, like on arrival, with the message sucked into space. I mean,
Not if
granted,
you're in creative.
if you didn't die from that, then you would die from falling damage, unless you were wearing a jetpack. Jetpacks are pretty useful.
Or you have prepared water.
In that case, you need to really hope that you know exactly where you're going to fall, because I'm not sure if
Yes.
that's I'm not sure
Or
if that's
you are
constant.
doing it over an ocean.
Right. Favorite version of Greg Tech. A lot of people liked Greg Tech 2, 3, and 4. I'm gonna say I liked Greg Tech 4, but by now I like Greg Tech 5 unofficial more, because Greg Tech 5 unofficial is the extension of Greg Tech 5 that adds in the features from Greg Tech 4 that didn't get added in. For those of you not familiar with the numbering, Greg Tech 2 lasted through Minecraft 1.4.7. Greg Tech 3 was Minecraft 1.5. Greg Tech 4 was 1.6, and Greg Tech 5 is 1.7. Greg Tech 6 is still 1.7 because Greg does not want to go to 1.8 because Industrial Craft doesn't want to go to 1.8. I would say as far as my favorite version of Greg Tech right now, that would be Greg Tech 5 unofficial, because it has all of the all the complex features of Greg Tech 5, but also the end game of Greg Tech 4, because that was something Greg Tech 5 didn't have. End game. Why do you stand like Packrat? I don't actually know who Packrat is. Thoughts on mods adding in-game documentation, and to the Wiki team plan on adding the information onto the Wiki pages? In-game documentation makes our lives easier. It makes us slightly less necessary, but mostly it makes our lives easier. But more than anything else, in-game documentation is a case of people doing it right, in that the person who wrote the code for the mod is also writing the documentation for the mod, so they can tell you exactly how something works if they so choose, instead of us having to figure out exactly how something works. And it's also in a very easily accessible place. It's in the game, it's in NEI, so you can just look at it on the fly. You don't have to alt-tab over to a web browser, open a wiki page. I like the idea of in-game documentation because it just makes life easier, and it makes life easier for basically everyone. And on that point, also, I appreciate the fact that Vazki put automated wiki links into the Botania, the Lexica Botania, in case you try to look at something that isn't in the Lexica. That is useful. That's also a bit of unexpectedly useful advertising. Favorite tech mod? It starts with a G. It's made by a man named Greg. And a lot of people will call you a masochist for using it.
Is it Greg's Lightning by Greg Ewing?
Do people call you a masochist for using Greg's lighting?
The only thing at output, you can only power with coal or IC2EU, so probably yes.
What's the problem with IC2EU?
Well, many people will call you a masochist just for using IC2 experimental to begin with.
Oh. Question, do you untie your shoes when you take them off? Actually, I don't, even though I have large feet. I just have flexible feet. Question, would you like some cheese? On its own, not really, but if I have something to eat it with, yes. You what? I'll strangle you refer to Thaumcraft Wiki documentation, it's good. Is the Thaumcraft Wiki written by Azenor? That was a question for someone else. I don't actually know. I don't spend much time on the Thaumcraft wiki.
I didn't even know there was a Thaumcraft wiki.
There is. It's quite useful. It is Greg's lighting. Question: why have so few mini mods? Why have so few mini mods mini documentation in tooltips? What?
He's referring to the description of items when you mouse over them, I assume.
Also, shift click to get more details.
Yeah.
Because mod developers are lazy, I guess.
Yeah. That's also in-game documentation. That is also done by the mod developer themselves. So that's on them, and that's... What did someone just throw at me? Ender Porter. Okay. So that's on the modders, that's not on us. Why'd the TV screen die? Okay, who broke the screen?
It seems fine for me. Yeah, looks fine here.
Yeah, it's okay for
Fine
me.
here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
Never mind. It flickered
Now
for a
it's
second.
not fine.
Now it's not fine. It's black. And okay.
It's been completely black for me the entire time.
And AC rebooted it.
Okay, or someone rebooted it at least. As the recording deactivates, reactivates. What is a TV show that you secretly enjoy? I don't watch much TV, but as far as it shows, I would say it's Stargate. Like, my parents actually own all 3 Stargate series box sets, so we spend a fair amount of time going through those sometimes. See, I am the son of a pair of Star Trek fans, original series Star Trek fans, and the science fiction fandom carried on and bled onto me a little bit, even though I don't watch much TV. Would you like some cheese in-game? I'm currently at full hunger, so that's not really useful to me right now. Question, have you messed around with mods for 1.8? No. When 1.8 was released, I messed around with the SimCity map for it, but, also immediately started having performance issues with 1.8 that I don't even have with 1.7 with its heaviness. Ever thought of making an in-game FTB wiki mod that pulls information from the site? I did actually think about that. However, I would need to learn Java for it first. Because so far, I know how to read Java but not write it. If I do actually go end up making a mod, though, that would probably be it. A way of an in-game web browser to interface with the FTB wiki to pull information in.
Should we like tie him to a chair and force him to learn how to program?
Tie him to a chair and force him to do an API in the wiki that we can interface with easy.
No.
Well,
We
the media
tell
wiki
him to
API
learn
is
how to
still there.
program Java. So basically, he has to build like a website scraper on his own.
As far as an API for interfacing with the wiki, that would also require PHP.
Ew.
Okay, then we just
I can do that.
chatty at it.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Because...
A bit.
Yeah. Because MediaWiki is PHP.
Obvious thing is obvious.
Question, who's the biggest guy on the plane? Is anyone here taller than 6'1"? If you go by height, not very many people. If you go by weight, very, very many people, because I weigh nothing. Which is why,
Yeah,
in the
same.
answer to the cow question, I answered no, I'm an anti-cow. Let's see,
Could
what would be awesome.
could convert that to metric units because we don't use.
Most of us are
Feet
because
is
we
also used for height in the UK because
because we don't
us
all live in
English are
America.
crazy.
Yeah.
Or England. Us English crazy.
So 6 inches 1 is what?
6
meters,
inches
please?
even.
Feet are the things below, at the bottom of your legs.
Yeah.
But they're at the top when you're doing a
Well,
handstand.
Yes.
Well,
Get over
Nobody
that.
does that.
Yeah, 1.85 meters. Not American.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. The other in-game wiki does not pull from web pages. The in-game wiki mod, it stores its information. It pulls its information from mod files themselves. In before overlay built into FTB or Curse Launcher. Question: what do you most enjoy about maintaining the wiki? I'm one of those guys that likes spreading information around, so it's basically spreading information around. That I joined the wikis to spread information. I started writing wiki articles 2 years ago because spreading information, and so that's why I'm still with the wiki team, even though the admin frustrates me sometimes. It's basically just information. Other things that are enjoyable are the little spark moment where you realize how some modder did something if they did something either unusual or clever. Question: what wiki would you go to if the FTB wiki vanished? Well, I joined the FTB wiki because the previous wiki I was working on vanished, so I think that would be... which wiki I would go to would be dependent upon a combination of what mod I found interesting at the time, and what other wiki could convince me that joining them would be a good idea. Question: do people ever actually take the time to thank you? By the way, thank you. You're welcome. Not very commonly. I get the feeling that the wiki team is generally fairly silent as far as our existence. Like, the wiki exists, and there are people that exist on the wiki. Like, I mean, the wiki has to be written by someone. But as far as who we are, we're just sort of, well, ghosts. We joke that we're called wiki slaves. And honestly, this is something I'm used to. The invisible hand is... oh, yeah, it's even worse for translators. Oh, hello, Sava. And yes, it is... yes, we are collectively Batman. And that's something I'm used to because I'm actually an ex-theater guy. Like, my blood is computer science. Well, I spent a lot of time in theater as a lighting guy, and then transferred back to computers because actors. That's an explanation in itself. But no, I'm used to, no, actors aren't all bad, but there's a certain matter of, there's such a thing as too much actor. And me being not an actor makes me slightly vulnerable to the problem of too much actor. Question: have you grown a beard yet? Yes, and I'm annoyed at it. Question: thoughts on Greg? He takes efficiency and his own vision at the cost of a whole lot else. He's a competent coder, but he's a little bit stubborn, to put it mildly. He can admit being wrong, but he really, really doesn't like it when other people are wrong and don't admit they're wrong. Why is my face on fire? No, Greg does not use version control. Greg does not save does not save his past versions. So the only version of GregTech ever available is either the final release version of an individual GregTech version or the most recent version that he released. This has changed with GregTech 5 Unofficial because GregTech 5 Unofficial is being run by BloodAsp and it's on GitHub. So, yeah. Question: how old am I? 21, although I've never been my own age. Opinion on durable boats in 1.9. Well, having your boat be arbitrarily destroyed because you bumped into a squid is annoying, so I guess that could be nice. Apart from that, I'm not sure what else. Question: what is your favorite game besides Minecraft? I've been playing a fair bit of StarCraft in the last few weeks, but apart from that, I do a lot of League and a bit of Dota 2. As far as games I've spent the most time on, that would be League of Legends by a massive long shot and a half. After that, Minecraft. After that, Dota 2. League and Steam names, PaladinOne. Board and card games, don't have anyone to play them with. But do you suck at StarCraft? Yes. Question, what is your opinion on Minecraft's adventure direction since beta 1.8? I think that going in the direction of adventure mode is sort of what had to be done with the game, because, in my opinion, there's really just not much you can do with Minecraft, and that's why I play modded Minecraft, because normal Minecraft just doesn't have very much in it for me. So if you're going in the direction of adventures, that's sort of where they have to go in order to make the game still, well, playable. Now, as far as modders go, we don't give a damn, but, as far as unmodded goes, adventure is kind of the direction they had to go in, although I still don't love how they've done it. Question, how much do you think the gameplay direction of Minecraft influences modding? I think that it definitely inspires some of the philosophy behind mods, as there are modders that try to keep true to the conventional Minecraft style. But why'd someone throw a fishing lure at me? Like, there's a fishing lure sitting on the ground next to me right now with a string leading to someone in the audience. But yeah, it's like, I know that Greg actually explicitly tries to keep some things in Greg Tech true to the theory of vanilla Minecraft, even if the implementation is a little bit odd. And I have seen... Man, actually, no, that's the thing, that the gameplay direction of Minecraft itself does influence modding, because it gives the modders something else to work, it gives the modders some direction to work off of, so that they don't simply go everywhere and do everything randomly. Question, are you a fan of Red Power 2 like everyone else? Not all that much. I didn't play very much with Red Power back in the 1.4 era. Apparently my game mode's being updated.
I was wondering if it would pick you up if you were in game mode 0. And now he kicked me.
Well.
I was just trying to see if I could pick him up with a fishing rod. Aww. You're okay with that, right? You're okay with me trying, right?
Am I
you
allowed
don't hate
to?
Me, right?
Am I allowed to sarcastically call you a hooker for it?
Maybe. Also, I think it's time to end the con, because at the hour mark, usually people start getting silly.
Yeah.
Well, it has gotten
noticed.
mildly silly, but there are still a few questions I can answer.
Okay,
Like,
so
go
answer those few questions. I need to quickly finish something. So
Okay then. Question: do you ever play vanilla Minecraft Red Warfare before it got shut down? No, because I didn't. I've never really done anything with vanilla Minecraft. As far as vanilla Minecraft goes, apart from the custom map, Sim City, I've played all of about 3 hours of vanilla Minecraft in almost 3 years. Question, how do you feel about Mojang adding other mods to vanilla? It's their right to do it, but I feel like it's a little bit of a cheesy ripoff. Also, didn't the original 1.2 Buildcraft hopper, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 Buildcraft hoppers have a better implementation than Mojang's hoppers in 1.5?
it does have a better implementation. However, the Minecraft hopper has more features. And after talking with Crap, who originally designed the Buildcraft hopper, we decided not to add those features in. Instead, we made the Buildcraft hopper cheaper than the Minecraft hopper. So it balances out.
Right. Question, how do you feel about... no, I already answered that one. Question, do you like Pokemon? I was a member of the Twitch Plays Pokemon Hive Mind for a year, and I appeared twice on Twitch Speaks. I don't have all that much loyalty to Pokemon as a franchise itself. However, praise be to Old Amber, and failing that, praise be to Lord Helix. Question, do you like having fishing rods thrown at you? It's mildly confusing. Question, do you like Super Smash Bros. Series for the consoles? I don't play consoles. Question, small thing modern... I don't... clarifying that. I don't play consoles, but I think it's a fun concept. I'm not sure how much I love the latest one though, because I feel like it's gone. I don't feel like. Yeah, I don't like the feel of it as far as the community if you're playing it. Question: small things modders can do to make your life easier. I don't really know actually. Like, I mean, it's useful if the mods are open source because that makes it easier to look up what's going on. But even that doesn't make a whole lot. I don't. Apart from straight up writing the documentation themselves, there's not really little things that modders can do to make my life easier. Praise be to Lord Gaben, at times. Although
Always.
I don't really tend to hold strong loyalties to any single organization. Like, the strongest loyalty I have is to the wiki itself, and even with that, I don't have any loyalty to Feed the Beast, the organization itself. Question: are tomatoes thrown at you better? In the long run, probably not, because they would cause more visual lag for other people.
Nice.
Okay, time to throw tomatoes! Tomatoes! Why, no, I'm telling American, no!
Oh yes, America.
Nobody has tomatoes, though.
Well, yesterday was...
Someone give everyone potions, and let's see how much we can lag the shit out.
And Sky is throwing actual tomatoes at me now. Wait,
Sky, you can stop now.
Okay, so I'll end it with this. So yeah, yesterday was 4th of July, which is, of course, United States Independence Day, which a comment I wanted to make but never got to make. It has been sung that to dig and dig makes us free. And this is America.
Huh?
Wow, okay, everyone missed that one. Crickets, everyone missed that one. Okay, that one missed totally. Yes, that was weird. But yes, the point, the connection I was trying to make there was, this is America, freedom, all that random jazz. To dig and dig makes us free. Therefore, I spent all day yesterday playing Minecraft.
Wow.
Oh god. To all Europeans, you know that you know that you should ignore this.
Yeah.
America.
This is just this is just me being vaguely patriotic
Please
American and
stop
silly like that.
Okay.
Things.
Okay.
Wait, there are other people in the US besides Patreons?
I
Super cool.
something kind of funny. My mum like lived in the USA. Like, my mum was an American, is like a US citizen of the USA, but she moved to England for one because one of the reasons why she actually likes the UK better than the US. So okay.
Okay.
Good story.
All right.
And I hadn't 6ix9ine. You've cleaned Sangar's inventory, which normally has some sort of tablet in it.
All right. Yogurt has been asking, can you tell us some lies?
Fireworks are kind of annoying when recording.
I say no. I believe that
That's a lie.
I have gone to the end of the talk time. In 24 minutes, we have the final ceremony set to start. So I will surrender the stage to let AC cool down a little bit.
Actually,
Yes?
the grand finale will be on another stage, so you can go on for a while.
Okay.
I'm still preparing the stuff. Is everything squared on another stage, so you can actually go all the way until the finale if you want to.
Where is the other
hilarious.
stage?
You know the second hall, And you know there's the giant BTM logo in the other hall. That's where it is. I'm going to guide you when it's time.
Okay. So we'll look at that in like half an hour. All right. So either I can fill space for 20 minutes, or we can sit around and wait for 20 minutes for AC to put on his finale.
I'm going to manage. I think half 50-50 would be fine because I still have some computer work to do. So 10 minutes you and then 10 minutes me to prepare everyone.
Okay, fair enough. So, I guess I'm now in space filling mode for another 10 minutes, which is something I have done in the past. Actually, I've done that on Twitch Speak streams as well, because there was a time when Yuki says sing for us. That is not the first time I've gotten that request. It's a question of what I would sing, though.
The American
Fridays.
Yeah song.
One moment.
One sec.
Wait, what? Ah!
Why, do you want me to wind you up? Nah.
No, Ranzo, it's actually someone in chat is speaking Japanese, so I just was wondering if you could just, I don't know, I just found it funny, so I just find it funny that I find it the idea funny that you could like just say stuff randomly in Japanese. I don't know.
Well, I can't say stuff randomly in Japanese, but I can actually just arbitrarily
Actually,
fill time and space.
I just wanted to warn you that I actually have quite a lot of followers in Japan, so you never know.
Yeah.
Right,
Someone's
I'm being
asking who
sucked
screwed up
towards
gravity.
the wall.
I just returned from Düsseldorf, where I did the N5.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like 40 degrees in there because Germans do not know the word air conditioning.
No, just not worth buying an air conditioning.
Germans do not know the
seriously.
word air conditioning is a common
Wow.
complaint of Greg during the summers.
Look at this when getting sucked into whatever
What's this
first
air
mission of
conditioning?
it was.
What's this air
black
conditioning
hole is
people
kind
talk
of-
of?
Big.
Yeah.
Wait, did the black hole escape? I want to see this.
No, it's expanding.
Where?
Can get anyway.
Oh, yeah, there's definitely...
I think we could.
Oh my! Okay then, yes, that has expanded significantly.
So yeah, we're gonna end a bit sooner.
Oh dear, that's a bit of an issue.
What's wrong?
The matter overdrive black hole has expanded significantly and well, it's not quite eating up the
Eating
convention room
players.
yet, but it has eaten a very large crater in the ground.
I'm getting pulled into the wall.
It's eating the players, guys.
I think we're going to have to do the final keynotes now. I'm canceling.
I'm gonna end the recording.
Where's the black hole?
Can
Get
someone
out the
contact
water,
us?
Just
Oh.
TP to me.
Oh no. Oh no.
Shadow facts.
Should I drop
facts,
red matter
stop.
into it? Maybe it reverses?
Sure,
No.
try it.
Do
What
it
mod does
now.
this
What
take
could
from?
possibly go wrong? And if the world ends,
You
we
can warp to
basically-
it using the Ender IO.
Problem
Yeah,
solved.
thanks, bro.
Okay then.
Oh,
Wow.
and then you just and then you just delete the chunk.
I'll fix
You just use world edit
Great
to
job.
delete the chunk.
Not even regen, just delete it. Wow.
You guys
Well,
might not want to
wow.
be standing in here whenever I do this.
Okay,
You know-
then that was interesting.
You could have just removed it, the part instead of
Normal
the chunk.
service has been resumed. Actually, you
Oh,
haven't got
I
air
found this
conditioning
place
in your
Wow.
new hall. Actually,
Free,
you haven't got air
just place a
conditioning in
sign
your
saying
new
free
hall.
skydive.
I'm sorry. I'm too busy.
Black hole gone yet?
I'm too busy doing the con right now.
What
Sorry.
happened?
Wow. Okay then.
What
Wait,
the
there
The
was-
fuck
chunk
is this?
regenerated.
Oh,
wait,
okay.
It was regenerated, and there's now a quarter of a house here.
Oh, or...
What?
A quarter of a
That is
village.
interesting.
Great job.
Yes. There's a
that-
corner of a
that
village.
Generated way more
broken.
than it should.
But
Okay, well this is Frankie.